Hi, this is Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. And if you don't know, it's your first time here, I live in Georgia, and we are in the news because of this vote count right now. So I thought this was a great time to talk about USDA loans because when you see what they're putting in the news, they're putting like, oh, these are the population centers of Georgia, and then they have the other parts, the more rural parts of Georgia as well. And they mostly, a lot of them qualify for USDA financing. So you may find that, this could teach you something about your state because everybody's so focused on the vote count. This could be an opportunity for you to learn about USDA loans. So I'm doing this on Zoom so I can share my screen to show you how you can look it up yourself to see if you would qualify for USDA financing. Now, what's great about USDA financing is that it is 100% financing, 100%. Now, the USDA loan or mortgage was meant to promote home ownership in rural communities, so get people to move out to rural communities, improve those economies, that sort of thing. So, but they're really not that far from some of the population centers. So people are moving more to the suburbs anyway. So they may be maybe 30 minutes more outside of the suburbs. From Atlanta, you probably can hit a USDA area, probably 45 to an hour outside of the city. So it could be, and also with so many people working from home, this might be a great time to see, maybe I qualify for a USDA loan, I'll move farther from the city, 100% financing, and it allows you to, for the seller to pay up to or contribute up to 6% of your closing costs. So if you get both of those things to happen, USDA 100% financing, and then the seller contributes up to 6%, you can come in and buy your first home with zero down. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So number one, the best thing about them is that they're 100% financing. Eligibility. So you have to buy in an eligible area. So they have to be in rural areas in your state. Income limits. So their income limits, and they vary by state and they vary by household size. So the more people you have, probably the more income you're allowed to make. There's no max price on the house you can buy, but again, their income limit. So that's going to put a cap on how much you qualify for. You do typically have to have a 2-year work history, and there's no official credit score minimum. However, the lender that you go with is probably going to have a credit score minimum. 620 to 640 is what I'm hearing as the lowest. All right, so those are all the qualifications. Now the areas, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'll end there. So hold on for that, so I can show you how to see how close you are to a USDA area. Some helpful things to remember is that student loans. So if you have student loans and you're doing a USDA loan, they factor student loans in as 0.5%, where FHA loans use 1%. So it could have an opportunity. So if your DTI is too high, you could do a USDA loan and have your DTI be a little bit lower. So for example, if you had $100,000 in student loans and you were using an FHA loan for financing, that would be 1%, which would be 1%, which would be $1,000. But if you did a USDA loan, it'd be 0.5%, so it would only be $500 factored into your student loans. Now, I did a student loan video. You can check the videos for that. I'll try to link it below. But when I did that video, USDA used to be 1%. So they just recently, in this year, over this past year, changed it to 0.5%, so more people can qualify for USDA financing. I already said that sellers can contribute up to 6%. And if you can find new construction USDA, you might find that the builder is paying a good portion of your closing costs as an incentive. So that's like a win-win for that. Some of your repairs can be financed with a USDA loan. So that's a good thing. And then I'll just make sure that your lender is knowledgeable about USDA financing. Because if they've never done a USDA loan, there's a lot of little rules and eligibility and criteria that they need to make sure they're well versed in. You don't want to be, you don't want to have a lender and they're doing their first USDA loan. So you want to ask, how many USDA loans do you typically do? You want to ask your realtor, can you recommend somebody that does, USDA loans? I had somebody at a client that was considering USDA, and the lender told me, oh, those are kind of complicated. So if they're giving you some pushback on doing USDA financing, find another lender, because you'll probably have some difficulty there. So find somebody that doesn't mind. Usually the more that they do something, the better they get at it. So you want somebody who's done, more than one USDA loan. All right, so let me share my screen with you. The website that you would go to is, now why don't I see my screen? Sorry. The website that you would go to, let me share, is isitrural.com. So, and it goes to a government website. So isitrural.com. And I'll put that in the description. It'll take you to this website. And they're basically, it looks like this: USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. You want to make sure after you do isitrural.com, it takes you to a government website. And I'm talking about the single family housing. I'm not talking about any of this. However, it might be another thing you qualify for, but I'm really talking about single family housing guaranteed. So I'm going to click on that. And that's what you should click on. Majority of you would be doing the single family housing, the guaranteed loan. So click on that. And it's going to take you to a map of the United States. Let me scroll back out. I scrolled too much. All right. So it's going to take you to a map of the United States, kind of like those election maps, right? But I'm going to go to Georgia. So I'll move my map over because that's what I'm most familiar with. But you, of course, would go to your state. And I'm moving it over here. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it says ineligible area. So any area that has this gold color on it is not eligible for USDA financing. That means the rest of these areas, scrolling back out a little bit, are eligible. So anything that has the lighter color, all of this is USDA financing. It's just those population centers, very similar to what you're seeing on the election maps. No USDA, no USDA, no USDA, the Savannah, the Macon, the city of Atlanta, and all of the surrounding, like the metro Atlanta area, doesn't qualify. But there are more areas that qualify for USDA financing than don't qualify for USDA financing if you're looking at the state, because they go by population, all of that kind of stuff. And it's set by Congress as to what qualifies as a USDA area. But if you're looking at this map, you can see, okay, if I'm in this area, I'll qualify for USDA. If I'm in this area, I'll qualify. And you can zoom, as far in as you want. These are some of our cities in Atlanta. So most of our major cities are not going to qualify around the city of Atlanta, are not going to qualify for USDA. But if I just look a little bit outside of the metro Atlanta area, I would qualify. So you want to make sure that you're aware in your city what qualifies, because again, a lot of you are working from home. It doesn't really matter how close you are into the city as much anymore. This could be an opportunity. So that's number one. The other thing you can do, and I'm going to scroll back out and stop. I'm going to scroll back up, is actually put in an address. So I'm going to put in one address that I already know that qualifies for USDA. So I put in the address, you click go. Okay, it's not going to work for me. Is it work? Okay, and it'll pinpoint that address, and it will tell you if it qualifies. So it says this address is located in an eligible area. So if you're on Zoom, if you are looking at a house, you assume that that area would qualify for the USDA financing. So let's put in an address. I have another one that doesn't qualify, so I'm going to put that in. Spelled that wrong. All right, so I'm gonna go and see if this one would qualify. I know it takes a minute, I guess, to come up. All right, so that's the new address. Again, it pinned it again. It says this address is not located in an eligible area. And if I'm scrolling back out, it's in one of those popular, it's in Cobb County, which is a county that is in the metro Atlanta area, so it would not qualify for USDA financing. Now let's talk about income eligibility. So on this same website, it's going to tell you whether you qualify for your income. So click on income eligibility. You pick your state. I'm going to pick Georgia. I'm going to pick Cobb County right here. And then it's going to ask you how many people in your household. I'm going to put 5. It says number of residents under 18 years old that are disabled or full-time students. So if you have a full-time student, you don't, and they're working, you don't have to count their income. So I'm going to just put 1 just because, but you'll fill this out, with your information. Then you click next. And you're allowed to put in your childcare expenses, so it's really unique the way the USDA program works. But I'm just going to put base employment income. I'm going to say that I make, and it's gross monthly income, I'm going to say that I make $5,000 a month. I had 5 people in my household, 1 was a student. I'm going to go down, hit finish to see if I qualify. So it says applicant is eligible for the Section 502 Guaranteed Rural Housing Loan Program based on the information. Of course, this is not a pre-approval. You still have to go through your loan officer, your lender, to get a pre-approval, but it kind of tells you, the details about the income or the maximum income you can qualify for. So I hope this was, let me stop my share really quickly. I hope this was helpful. So, when I saw the maps, I was like, well, people need to know this is like a USDA map. This is a great program. It allows people to get into their homes with less money down, and also helps rural communities grow. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I will have a link in the description to the website that we just went to. And thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week, and I will help you confidently buy your first home. Thank you.